which is a reference.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hold on, just a minute. Good Monday morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. I don't know how that sounds, Amanda. Only live online morning show. I think, but that makes us number one.
It sounds important.
Important?
Sounds important. Man.
Important. Okay. We are the number one online live morning show. I'm going to say in all of Georgia, I'm just going to take a chance. I mean, Trump does it. Trump just says anything. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will just say anything. I'm your host, BKP. Welcome this Monday morning. We've got a lot going on. At 8:10 this morning, folks, we will have Georgia Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle will be on with us for about 15 minutes before they start the opening day down there in Atlanta of the 2018 session. What we're going to do, we're not going to go to commercials, so don't leave us. So what will happen is as soon as Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle calls, he is also a candidate for governor. As soon as he calls, Amanda will give me a signal. We will just go to what's called our show card for not even 15 seconds just to make sure I have Lieutenant Governor's earpiece volume correct, and then we'll bring him right in, so don't leave. So we're not even going to go to commercial. 8:02. At 8:30, as soon as the Lieutenant Governor's off the line and we come back for our first break, we're going to talk about the Georgia 2018 legislative session and some of the things going on. But I thought it was important. Amanda, you need to pay attention to this. Now, President Donald J. Trump, said that he would put a 25% tariff on steel and 10% on aluminum. We're going to talk about that later. But I was thinking to myself, what if the president wanted me to be on his steel and aluminum authentication task force? Like, what if I got called up for a task force? You know what I mean, Amanda? Would I be prepared? So I came in this morning to make sure I had my certificate of inspection, my official micrometer. Now this, I will be able to test steel. This is what this is. This is my micrometer. I've had it for years. It's calibrated. I have the certificate of authenticity here. And President Donald Trump, if you need me to go out and check Chinese steel, I have my micrometer ready. It's ready to go. Believe it or not, it's a very expensive little tool. I've had the micrometer for, I had this in my past life. I'll tell you a little story about it later. But I wanted to make sure I could actually go out, I could check steel. 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum, and they are going nuts left and right. But you know what? Whether you agree, and I'd like to know from you, do you agree with tariffs on steel and aluminum? I want to know that for later in the show. I want to talk about it because I'll tell you what, whether you agree or not, it's a campaign promise. I mean, the president said, candidate Trump said he would build a wall. Candidate Trump also said NAFTA, TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, that, these are campaign promises. And we're going to be talking to a candidate for governor, Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle this morning. And, hey, you voted for Donald J. Trump, and these are promises he made. And we're going to go in depth. What do you think the aluminum, and that's all they had to talk about yesterday. are the tariffs on aluminum. But they said that it was reactionary, that Donald J. Trump is so upset in the White House. He's so upset with his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. He is so upset that his son-in-law only has partial security clearance. He is so upset. He's so angry. These sources say 20 or more from the Washington Post within the White House, a White House in chaos, they've gone back to that he got so upset he just said, I will put a tariff on steel. Just a reactionary thing for his base. But then, wait a minute. His base, the EU strikes back. That's what they said. Isn't that like Star Wars strikes back? The EU, okay? The European Union strikes back. Whoa, we're really afraid of that. They will put a tariff on bourbon, blue jeans, especially Levi's. I guess those ones made in Mexico, because if you have forgotten, we're here close to Blue Ridge, just up the road where Levi's left, went to Mexico some years ago. So, we don't understand that in North Georgia. Okay, you know, when you throw out Levi's, they're going to put a tariff on Levi's. And Harley Davidson motorcycles. Interesting. So, Georgia, let's go over a couple things. Lawmakers say that teachers' pensions need fixed bad, just not now. Georgia House backs a plan to spend an extra $109 million. Did you know there was an extra $109 million in the bank account? That is revenue that has come in over and above the projected revenue for 2017. So they're going to amend it up, and they've come up with a plan to spend the $109 million. Georgia legislature set for the final days. There's only 10 days left in session. Transit, Metro Atlanta transit expansion bills. 13 counties to raise hundreds of millions of dollars in sales tax for public transportation. Another transportation bill, 2018. Georgia Senate votes to allow adoption agencies to refuse gay couples. We'll talk about that one this morning, and we'll talk about that one. Georgia Senate votes to switch elections to paper ballots. That's still out there. And last but not least, deal signs the tax break, the Georgia income tax cut with no to Delta. You know, I keep hearing Delta over and over, okay? But really it is the jet fuel, aviation jet fuel tax exemption. It was the Delta tweet that got everything fired up, and we'll talk to Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle about that. And another thing I want to know when I get Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle on the line, what exactly, can you pinpoint exactly just a handful of things or just one or two in the Georgia 2018 legislative session that affects or benefits rural Georgia in a big way? I give you ahead of time, please don't give me another committee on broadband or another study for extending high-speed internet to North Georgia or to South Georgia. We have kindly heard that long enough, okay? HQ2, Amazon HQ2, all right? The transportation bill, okay, Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle is on the line, so hold just 1 minute. We'll be right back. Amanda, okay, we're back and we're live with Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, Georgia Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, also candidate for governor. Thank you for being with us, Lieutenant Governor Cagle. How are you this morning?
Well, Brian, thank you. It's good to be with you, and we're doing great this morning.
We have 10 days left in the session. Let me just bring up a couple things and get some clarification. Now, last week you actually had the news cycle of the week with Delta, NRA, and the tweets going back and forth. But let's clear it up for the audience and everybody listening. Basically, what you were talking about is that Delta singled out one particular group, and where a lot of the media focused in on NRA, and that you maybe pulled this tax exemption, fuel tax exemption, because of the NRA. Am I correct on that, or can you clear us up?
Yeah, well, I think you are. So let me set the stage. Obviously, Delta is an important asset here in the state, economic driver. It is the largest player in our state. But with that, during the boycott of NRA, and certainly after what took place in Florida, the basic plan was for them to jump in that boycott fight, and they pulled their benefit, their negotiated benefit, to NRA for their extension. And so they had a tax exemption on fuel, jet fuel here in the state, and as a result of that, that fuel exemption was pulled. And I just don't think it's right for corporations to target organizations based on their own views. And so we had to take a strong stance. And quite honestly, I think conservatives have to stand up and fight for our values. And today it may be the Second Amendment, but tomorrow it might be the First Amendment. We need to make sure that we have a very strong in that area.
Okay, well, the governor signed that bill. That's HB 918, the tax cut with the fuel aviation tax exemption stripped out of it, but he didn't sign it without making a couple comments. He didn't seem to be very happy at how this went down, and he said, "We are not elected to give late night talk show hosts fodder for their monologues or to act with a type of immaturity that has caused so many in our society to have a cynical viewpoint of politics," also saying we needed to ditch the election year annex. Are these election year annex? I mean, if your opponents or somebody out there is questioning exactly your direction here, how do you feel about what the governor came out and said concerning this?
Well, I totally disagree with any antics. I think people that have followed my career know that I am a person who makes decisions based on principle, and I'm not elected to represent, one company. I'm elected to represent the entire population of the state, and make decisions that are predicated on the principles that you hold. And again, I do believe in the Second Amendment, and I believe very strongly that we have to ensure that big corporations are not pushing their will or their viewpoints in a way that ultimately is detrimental to society as a whole. So and listen, I have been taken on by the liberal media, along with a lot of liberals around the country, but that doesn't change my position. And this has nothing to do with antics, but everything to do with principle.
All right, let me ask you another question here. With this HB 918 without the aviation jet fuel, and I want to make a correction. Are we correct on that? We keep saying Delta, but it actually was an aviation jet fuel exemption that would benefit anyone buying aviation jet fuel. Is that correct?
That is correct. This was a complete elimination of sales tax on jet fuel.
It wasn't a target just to Delta. No.
That is correct.
Okay.
Delta is the largest beneficiary because obviously they have most planes, right?
Okay, now, obviously there's a lot of talk around Amazon HQ2. Even the governor says he will call a special session to the legislative session just to work out the details for possible tax exemptions or whatever needed for Amazon. But the Keep Faith in Adoption and Foster Care Act, and also the most recent situation here with Delta and the aviation jet fuel. Do you think those two have cost or may cause Amazon to bypass Georgia as far as one of the cities, Atlanta, as far as one of the cities they're considering?
No, I do not. First and foremost, I think those of us that are small or large corporations, and I've been a business owner for 32 years, both of small and large companies. What I can tell you is that, we as capitalists believe that, at the end of the day, it's not about social policy. It's about making sure that we are good stewards to our shareholders and giving them a return. It's a financial decision by which we pay. So, obviously, a large part of this discussion is that businesses need to focus on doing business and providing the services that their consumers need and want versus weighing in on social policy initiatives. So you look at Georgia, we're the number one state to do business in. We're a low tax state, low regulatory environment, a tort system that's fair and just, and a workforce that is second to none. So if Amazon and any of the other companies that are looking at Georgia, obviously we are a conservative state, and we're going to continue to be a conservative state. But the fact still remains, if you want the best environment to do business, Georgia's that place. If we're going to continue to be the number one place to do business, and I'm going to lead in that direction.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I know you have to go, but with two recent bills. SB 386, which allows 13 counties to raise hundreds of millions of dollars as sales taxes for public transportation. House Bill 930 would do the same thing. Didn't we just do a transportation bill, HB 170, that would raise almost $1 billion? Some critics say that these transportation bills are put in place to show Amazon or to what are these transportation bills? Why are these necessary? These two bills right now?
Well, first of all, let me be very clear. I'm not in favor of raising taxes, and certainly in the bills that you just referred to, there would be a tax increase component to that, and I am not in favor of that, and I've been very clear to that point. The issue of transportation, do we have a real issue? Absolutely, but we have resources now that we haven't had before to deploy, and I think it's a function of, one, as it pertains to transit, there needs to be a new governance structure that is built around that to build a consensus to expand that. There has to be an assessment that is done to make sure that we're not only giving the service where it's needed, but we're giving the consumers what it is that they're willing to pay for. And when it comes to our infrastructure, we have to look at it in a strategic way, particularly in a 10-year strategic plan, putting the resources where they're needed the most in a very strategic way. So there's a lot of work to be done, and I don't think that just, putting taxes on Uber and putting taxes on the airport fundamentally is going to get us where we need to be. It's really a function of governance as well as a strategic plan.
Well, in addition, HB 930 would impose a 50-cent fee on all taxi rides. Let me ask this last question, and I know you have to go. We only had 10 minutes. This is a big legislative session with this transportation bill and so many things that have gone on. Give me one solid, maybe one or two solid things in the 2018 session that benefit rural Georgia, that goes outside of the circle of the 13 counties and benefits rural Georgia, that is going to be a takeaway for us up here in North Georgia and South Georgia.
Well, First of all, I think that the broadband issue is probably the biggest. We're no longer bound by bricks and mortar. We can do business anywhere in the world from any corner of our state if we have a reliable access to broadband. And so I have a bill that Senator Gooch is carrying for me in particular that not only deals with access but also reliability. Reliability may be just as important as access many times. And in order for the entrepreneurs, the small business owners to continue to thrive and be successful, I think that certainly will be a critical piece. The other thing that I will just say is that we do have a real opioid crisis issue across the state as well, and really, for that matter, across the nation. And I have a bill this year that really does help on the state families component that allows family members or relatives or close friends or your church to be able to step in to help in time of need and crisis as it pertains to those individuals getting the assistance that they need by having someone to take care of their kids during that time, opposed to just turning over to a government-run DFACS system. So this is a very pro-family initiative that I think can really be helpful in a wraparound component. So you've got that. You also have the rural health care issue. As you know, you're dealing with a hospital in your community that we need to get solved. It's not about more money. It's about making sure that hospitals have a financial model that is sustainable going forward. And so we're going to be working on that. I have a big initiative around an innovation center and other ways in which we provide the healthcare delivery system that we need in Georgia, not necessarily what California.
Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning. I know you have to get the session started. I know you have to get the session started, and we apologize for some feedback that we've had on the phone, but it has come through pretty clear. We apologize for that. And Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, I know we got 10 days left, but you're welcome back anytime. And as soon as session's over, we want to invite you to come into the studio and sit down with us for an extended interview and visit.
Would love to do that, and let's not forget, it's a $5.7 billion tax cut that we ushered in. There's a lot to celebrate, and I think this is going to be a great session. Look forward to being with you real soon.
Thank you very much. You have a nice day, sir.
You too.
I don't know why they had such bad feedback, Amanda, they were saying on the phone, and I had it too, but I mean, I was able to make out what he was telling me, so I don't know what that may have been. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. And we'll be back. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back and break down some of the things going on in the state and some of the things Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle spoke about this morning. Take us a break, Amanda.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hut.
Okay, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. They said they were not on speakerphone and they were on a hard line in the office. So we did get some feedback and it was pretty choppy. So we'll check that out. I was able to make out what the Lieutenant Governor said. I hope you were able to make that out, Casey Cagle. Let's go over, first of all, welcome this morning. It's qualifying day in Georgia, which means the 2018 election qualifying for candidates starts today all across the state of Georgia, and there's only 10 days left in the legislative session. We will find out by Friday who's going to run against who in what counties. FetcherNews.com has assigned 10 counties in North Georgia here to different reporters that we will check twice a day to see if there's any qualifying updates. And we will have an article on each website, Fannin County, Gilmer County, Pickens, will have an article started on each website that has the qualifying Board of Education, commissioners, sheriff, regardless of who is running in your county or city elections. That will be on FetcherNews.com. We're starting that today. So we're going to keep up who's qualifying, all right? And, I want to stay on Georgia for a minute. We're going to stay on Georgia till 9 o'clock, okay? Let's stay, if you're out there, we're going to stay on Georgia till 9 o'clock. And here's what we want to stay on. I think you should be watching your state legislature. Casey Cagle, the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, is running for governor, along with several other candidates. But there's a couple bills, and I want to bring these up, okay, that I think in Georgia it's about time we stop election year maneuvering and get, it's just like, I remember the year in Georgia that we had a concealed carried weapons bill, and Governor Nathan Deal got very angry at State Representative Rick Jaspers, which Rick Jaspers sponsored the bill down here in Pickens County, and particularly got very angry with him, State Representative Jaspers, and basically said, not quote, but to Jaspers, I told you I did not want a gun bill. Well, he happened there happened to be an election going on that year where the governor was running for re-election. Then, once the governor safely secured his final term, Nathan Deal, then there was a gun bill. Remember the one he vetoed? Okay. Remember the gun bill that Governor Nathan Deal vetoed in Georgia? Second Amendment bill, protecting your rights. Then he turned around once it was modified and signed it just in time for an election year victory okay? Remember the years when religious liberty bills do not get signed, but religious liberty bills do get signed, the years that it's needed for the red meat for Republicans in Georgia? I mean, come on, really? We're not that dumb out here, okay? We see it a mile away what happens. Now, and the reason I say this is Campus Carry, all right? It seems to be working in Kansas. And I know, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. But Campus Carry, Kansas University Campus Carry down 13%. No weapons violations reported in the first 6 months of Campus Carry. This is in Kansas, okay? The number of crimes reported on the University of Kansas campus went down notably from 2016 to 2017, University police announced Friday. Overall crime decreased 13%, with 671 criminal offenses reported to KU police in 2017 compared to 770 incidents in 2016, according to news releases from KU Office of Public Safety. Now, do you not think with all of, what has taken place with the left wanting rid of every gun, that in the first 6 months, if Campus Carry in Kansas had one incident, one thing really go wrong, that it would not have made national news? You don't even know out there that Kansas has a Campus Carry bill because they don't want you to. They don't want you to know it's successful. They don't want you to know that crime is down on their university campuses. They don't want you to know that. But let something happen on one of those university campuses, and they will immediately blame Kansas for their Campus Carry law. But no, we can't have one in Georgia. It's a political thing. The Board of Regents runs our university system and has said no, absolutely not. So if you get the 21-year-old, they want to raise the limit, the age up to 21 years old, and you get the argument, well, a single mother of two, 20-year-old mother of two, cannot buy a firearm and get a permit to protect her children. Okay. Let's go with the other angle, A 19-year-old young lady, why does it have to be? It could be a guy, let's not be there, but a 19-year-old young lady that is working all day, or 20-year-old that is working all day today somewhere and going to take classes tonight at a campus somewhere where they have to walk across 3 parking lots to get to the building or the area where they have to take the class. After dark, come out at 9:30, 9:45, and walk to the car. Cannot defend herself because you can't have on Campus Carry. Just letting you know. I'd like to hear that in the campaign. Also, keep faith in adoption. Here's my opinion of, you keep hearing HQ2, Amazon, HQ2, okay? I personally do not want Amazon in Georgia. I do not. Now, I asked Lieutenant Governor, in all fairness, I'm going to ask all of them. He just happens to step in and actually be in office. But I would prefer, I'm not going to say they're not trying. Let me see how I say this in all due respect. But I prefer not to tell me any longer my consolation prize for being in rural Georgia is broadband. That they're going to work with the EMCs, and there's some bills on the table right now that will benefit me in rural Georgia for high-speed internet broadband. It's like out in rural Georgia, our consolation prize is broadband. Just keep saying broadband. Go to Lumpkin County, stand up in a meeting and say broadband. They'll all cheer. I'm going to tell you what, they're about cheered out with the broadband. And then rural hospitals. I got to get into that in a minute. Rural hospitals. Well, let's go back to HQ2, Amazon. Let me just say this. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this more was going to happen. I do not want, did I already say I don't want Amazon here in Georgia? Okay, if they're going to bring, 50,000 jobs, is that what I'm hearing, or 30,000? Is it 30,000, 50,000? I forget, okay? 50,000 jobs, okay, that's what they're bringing. $5 billion in a new headquarters, okay? Which, don't get fooled, this transportation bill, okay, there's two transportation bills. Now, Tippins down in Marietta, Representative Tippins down in Marietta, did not vote for it, okay? This transportation bill, let me get to it. Trying to get to it now. Georgia lawmakers passed Metro Atlanta Transit Expansion Bill. Two bills that could prompt dramatic expansion of mass transit into the Metro Atlanta, clearing major hurdles in the Georgia Assembly, okay? Senate Bill 386 would allow 13 counties to raise hundreds of millions. HB 930 would do the same and would add tens of millions of state dollars for transit expansion. Both bills would create a new board to oversee transit funding and construction across the region, okay? Now let me ask you a question. They're going to create a new transportation regional commission. Counties, 13 counties, they're going to erase. Now this is my opinion, folks. Now they're going to tell you there's some things in the bill that protect county, we'll call it sovereignty, okay? 13 counties. State, HB 930, okay? Would allow tens of millions of state dollars for transit expansion. State, your money. What happened to HB 170? HB 170, your gas taxes already went up, the highest tax increase. Any politician, all due respect, okay? All due respect, I understand they're going to say, well, I'm muddying the waters. I'm mixing the oils here, okay? That's what they're going to tell you. But I just cringe at the thought of them running around in campaign season and telling people they gave you a tax break. When HB 170, folks, just a couple years ago, just seems like it was 2015, increased the largest tax increase. Okay? Largest tax increase in the history of the state. That's what it says. Look it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Look it up. $1 billion for transportation. Remember, all the big bridges were going to collapse. Kids were going to be on a school bus one day. The bridge was going to collapse and everybody was going to drown because it was going to go in the ocean or the water. It didn't go in the ocean. It was going to go in the water, right? They floated all these bridges out. I'm okay. I'm just saying. So HB 170, for the last 2 years, they've been showing us the positive results in your local community on how HB 170 has been a benefit to you and I, our tax money. But in the state of Georgia, we've got Senate Bill 386 and House Bill 930, 13 county commission. And then we have, let's not forget, we're going to have a board to oversee. Nothing better than creating another daggone damn board to oversee transit funding for construction across the region. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? The legislation comes as Metro Atlanta officials seek to lure Amazon's new headquarters and to alleviate some of the world's worst traffic. Congestion that's only going to get worse as the region adds an expected 100,000 residents a year. Okay, so, all right, maybe we need a transit plan. Maybe we do. Okay, maybe we do. Just saying. Here's my opinion. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to give it to you. All right? 50,000 jobs. Now, in Georgia today, pay attention to me. Pay close attention. You don't have to like this, but just listen and tell me if you don't like it. In Georgia today, every single person that wants a job, not your dream job, you might have to wash dishes, damn it, but every single person in Georgia that wants a job can have one. There's a job for everybody. We can't fill the jobs. I got a chicken plant a mile down the road. Boom! 1,000 jobs right there. 400 jobs. 400 jobs right now. All right, all over. Amazon high-paying, intellectual, lefty Democrat jobs. 50, we want those. So, unemployment in Georgia, boom. Everybody that wants a job can have a job. That's number one. Number two, don't give me you can't go to school. In Georgia, there's so many different ways that you can be accepted, you can get an education, you can go to school and train for the jobs. So there you go. That's number two in Georgia. Okay? Why do we need 50,000 liberal jobs? Why do we need to give anybody another tax break to come here? Why do we need to give away more corporate welfare to the wealthiest man on earth? Why? 1 penny. Why would Nathan Deal, if you are running for governor, this is my opinion. You don't have to like it. Refuse, if you are elected, refuse to return or be involved and called back. I don't know, it might be your constitutional duty, so I'm just saying this. For a special session in Georgia to give 1 dime of any kind of break to Amazon to bring liberal votes here. You better wake up now, Georgia. Let's say 7 out of 10. And I tell you, I don't think I'm wrong. Let's say 7 out of 10. So that's 700 out of every 1,000 new jobs that are going to be imported into Georgia will be blue voters. Yeah, now figure it out. Blue voters. All right? And guess what? They will pack around Atlanta. And guess what will happen, folks? Eventually, just like the state of Pennsylvania, Atlanta may one day, Georgia may one day, chop up their legislative districts and shift enough of those liberal voters, just like they just did in PA, shift enough of those liberal voters into districts to turn House seat 6 blue. Yes. I can name you about 5 districts right now in the state of Georgia, minor shifts in the district lines, turns them blue. 5. In Georgia, supposedly a red state. So HQ2, Amazon, The second bill, okay, is supposedly the second bill is the adoption agencies. Now, Georgia modified its adoption laws for the first time in years. So the bill they put through is a good bill. But the Senate sent through SB, Senate Bill 375, okay? And Senate Bill 375 is considered religious liberty legislation, okay? Senate pushed the bill forward despite objections from business leaders who say a battle over gay rights could hurt Georgia's reputation as a state, as the state tries to recruit Amazon to build its second headquarters in Atlanta. Okay? Opponents of the measure say it promotes discrimination against same-sex couples and gay fostered children. It does not. It does not, folks. And these are the two things that they say, several things that they say will happen. If these happen, will cause Amazon not to come here. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to lose any adoption agencies or organizations in Georgia. This just allows Catholic charities. Okay? If you have an adoption agency or you're part of an adoption agency, okay, and because of your religious beliefs, you're able to say, hey, same-sex couples, here's a whole list of agencies that you're welcome to visit, okay? We're just not one of them. But if you have any kind of what we call traditional marriage, what we call traditional family values, you are the one that they are telling is keeping Amazon from bringing HQ2. And then you do not believe that I'm correct when I say 7 out of 10, that means 700 out of every 1,000 of 50,000 jobs are going to be blue voters. I tell you what, you could not get Republicans to try any harder than Nathan Deal and some of his friends. Governor Nathan Deal and some of his friends. Boy, I sure hope he doesn't find out I'm saying stuff like this. You cannot get Republicans to try any harder than they are right now to turn a state blue without any help from Democrats as the so-called Republicans we have in leadership today. You just can't. Amazon should not be given a dime, not a dime. Georgia Senate votes to switch elections to paper ballots. That one's out there. We're going to keep track of this coming next 10 days. By the way, I want to put this out here. This is my little bet, all right? My little bet is, I told you, that one, the aviation fuel tax, okay? The aviation fuel tax, okay? My bet exemption, aviation fuel tax exemption, my bet will still make it into an appropriations bill somehow, some way. They will get most of that fuel tax credit that they were going to get in the first place. That's number one. And my other bet is Governor Nathan Deal will veto if Senate Bill 375, which is the religious adoption agencies to reject gay couples bill, as they want to call it, if this bill makes it to the governor's desk, the faith and freedom in adoption and foster care, My guess is Governor Nathan Deal will veto this bill. That's my guess. Did you know? And I didn't get a chance to bring it up. I want to bring up one more thing about the state of Georgia before I go any further. Georgia House backs plan to spend extra $109 million. Okay? There is an additional $109 million in revenue that has come into the state of Georgia. Now, I think 109 extra bucks, okay? Now, a lot of it came in because of the fact mid-year of people trying to pay their taxes to avoid any kind of state income tax exemptions that they would lose because of the federal tax reform. So there is a reason it's up, but 109 million, okay? The House, the State House voted 155-8 Thursday for a new mid-year spending plan that adds almost 30 million in grants to local governments to replace funding now received from sales taxes on jet fuel, $4.5 million for economic development grants. Okay? Now let me just translate. $4.5 million for economic development grants. That means, hey, my area needs, $250,000 so I could take a ribbon cutting or a grant picture for re-election. That is just a slush fund for politicians around the state. $4.5 million in economic development grants. I know people are getting mad at me right now, and I understand, but I can't take this, okay? I know what they are. And they go all around the state, and then a politician can reach in and they can say, hey, re-elect me in 2018. I brought home the bacon. So those are bring home the bacon grants. $1.2 million to pay for an increase in flu cases in Georgia hospitals, okay? An additional $150,000 would go towards new art grants. $1.6 million for beach improvements on Jekyll Isle. $12.3 million for marketing and equipment at technical colleges. Yeah, okay. And $43 million more for land conservation grants. Interesting, okay? House Appropriations Chairman Terry England, Republican, of Auburn, said the money for the jet fuel grants was included because the federal government is demanding that local governments spend the tax money at airports. So tax collections are outpacing the budget. $25.4 billion budget. This year is $26 billion. The Georgia state budget has gone up over $5 billion. Over $5 billion, folks, in 5 years. The budget has gone up over $5 billion. Where are they getting that money? And then politicians are going to go around, okay, and tell you in election season that they gave you a tax cut. I beg you, thank you for the tax cut, but I beg you not to cheer. I beg you to look at what it's going to cost you for the taxi ride. Oh, that's just 50 cents. I look at what it's going to cost you if you go into Atlanta. You think it's the 13 counties. Well, you go visit Atlanta and you buy something, you're going to pay the extra penny. Everybody in the state that goes within these 13 counties and does anything in the transportation, you're going to pay the extra penny. I'm asking you, please don't cheer. Now, another thing I asked about rural hospitals. Micro hospitals. Folks, that is not a hospital, a micro hospital. I actually like the outcome in Gilmer County that took place where Piedmont Mountainside came in and took North Georgia Medical Center and turned it into what's being called a micro hospital. I like that. But that's not the solution. And the legislation now, down there at the Capitol, if the governor signs it, Gilmer would never have a real hospital again as long as Piedmont Mountainside kept this open, I guess, as a micro hospital. Just saying, folks. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to take a brief break. When we come at 9:30, you're going to meet Amanda. Right, Amanda? We ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, just check it. Now, wait a minute. Amanda's gotten involved before in the show, but you're going to see Amanda today. Are you ready, Amanda? Are you sure?
I am ready as I'll ever be.
All right, don't make me have to play my chicken out music, because I will. I will go with the chicken out, 9:30. When we come back, we're going to talk about the aluminum and steel industry, okay? Tariffs. We're going to talk about some other things going on. White House and chaos. Once again, when they have nothing else, they reach into White House and chaos, the liberal media. We need to go to break, and then I need to figure out how much trouble I just got in with everybody down in Atlanta under the Gold Dome. Take us to break.
The Tupelo Tea Mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
It's just this simple. Nobody beats Days on price. If it's a Chevy, you'll pay less at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $4,000 off a new 2018 Chevy Malibu, or save up to $10,000 off a new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab. It doesn't matter which Chevy you choose. Nobody beats Days on price. $10,000 off Silverados and $4,000 off Malibus at Days Chevy in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Okay, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. You can reach us. It's 9 o'clock Monday morning. Now we're going to regroup. We're going to start over. Let's get a fresh start here, 9 a.m. Monday morning. Now, you can reach us at chief@fetchernews.com. You can email us. You can text the show. Or this is our 24-hour hotline. We got a hotline. I always wanted to call it a hotline, okay? The red phone. 706-889-9700. That's available anytime you hit news or you want to get involved in the conversation. 706-889-9700. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News, at FYNTV. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetcher News. So, that being said, and I'm glad you put all that information on the screen, Amanda. You know, I'm glad that was all up there. That could be part of the segment we do when you come on at 9:30, okay?
Here is that information for you guys.
There's the information. What? So, time delay? So anyhow, you're going to meet Amanda at 9:30. Now we have been working on Amanda's comes into the conversation quite often. She has 2 cents, but that's too boring. Amanda's 2 cents. We're just going to at 9:30. It's just going to be. We're going to call it Amanda. I mean, you got it like that. I got to give it to you. I mean, I wish I had it like that. You got you got like Cher. You got like you got Madonna. You got Oprah. You have Ellen. I mean, some people can just pull that off. You got it, Amanda. Hey, that's what I think. I mean, they keep asking me, what are we going to name Amanda's segment? I just said, it's Amanda. It's time for Amanda. Boom. It's over. I mean, I wish I had it like that. So you're going to meet Amanda at 9:30 this morning. Now, the media, and I made a joke this morning. I made a joke that I have my micrometer, okay? And this is very serious, just a couple seconds here, okay? This is to check the thickness for the gauge of steel. That's exactly what it is. It's calibrated. Okay, you can hear the little, let's see. Calibrated. Okay, it's a very expensive little tool here, but in my past life I used to sell an enormous amount of steel, like 100 tractor trailer loads to the World Congress Center, and I would get project managers say the gauge is not correct on this steel, and they would question it, and I'd have to go out and put the old micrometer on there and check the gauge and thickness of the steel and report back. I'll never forget, as you well know, okay, I'll tell you the story of my first micrometer one day. No, it wasn't when I was 12, but I'll never forget the first time I went out to a big project to check the steel, and I called the manufacturer and gave them the numbers on the steel and the gauge. And I'll never forget the first time the manufacturer said it was within tolerance. Well, I never have been able to handle the word tolerance. You know what I mean, Amanda? And I get a phone. I get on the phone, and the manufacturer said it was within tolerance. I said, "Are you serious? Within tolerance?" I don't do tolerance. So the President of the United States, all right, and let's see, how do I do this without like losing my temper today? Let's pull up Wilbur Ross. Now, Wilbur Ross is Commerce Secretary, I think, and he's holding up he's Trump's Commerce Secretary, Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross, and he's holding up a beer can and a Campbell's soup can. Now, beer drinkers are finding out that a fraction of a penny per can will be the increase in the aluminum cost, okay, and a fraction of a penny in any kind of steel that's being used in that soup can. But especially beer drinkers are finding out that a six-pack could have an additional cost of about 4 cents, maybe 5. We'll give it a full nickel. And they're outraged today, all right? In my joke, okay? So Wilbur Ross, they're making fun of him. Now, the average cost to a car would increase $175, $125 to $175 per car would be the increased cost of the steel for a car, is what is coming out, okay? And what's his name kept yelling at him, I think Chris Wallace, the guy yesterday on there, on Fox News, kept yelling, but if you do that times so many million cars, that's billions of dollars. Have you looked at the trade deficit, Chris? This is the first president. We tried it in 2002. I'm going to tell you why it didn't work in 2002. We tried steel tariffs on 2002 and it didn't work. That's because George W. didn't have a set. Okay? NAFTA. Remember George H. Bush, globalist, the only people that are upset today, take Wilbur down. I can't take looking at Wilbur and his beer can and his soup can, okay? But the only people upset today are the globalists. Well, there's certain politicians that are not supporting it. Some Republicans again. Yes, the globalist. Well, the EU, oh my God, we're in so much fear. The EU will strike back. Well, they'll put tariffs on Harley Davidsons. They'll put tariffs on Levi's jeans. So I said in the opening of the show, we're in North Georgia, and by the way, we remember Levi's leaving. Let's see. There's this little thing called NAFTA. There's this little thing called Blue Ridge. This little thing called Levi's, where a lot of people grew up and raised their families up here in the mountains. And this little thing called NAFTA, next thing you know, this little thing called Levi's went to Mexico. So what we really want you to do, especially in our area, is to yell Levi's and a tariff. Okay. It cost us already once. Really? What's it going to cost us? Our Levi's plant? I'm sorry, folks. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's all over America. There's people like myself that are laughing. What's it going to cost us out in Rollo, Missouri? Is that where the Briggs and Stratton, small engines, Briggs and Stratton, did they move from Rollo, Missouri, just check, to Yugoslavia or something like that? Where did they move? Briggs and Stratton. I don't know. But like we in America are sitting here today kind of laughing when you say the EU will retaliate. China has dumped steel in this country. Enormous amount of cheap steel and aluminum in this country, to where when they say it's a part of national security, let's just stay there, okay? It has something to do with national security. Remember, okay, that if we cannot produce our own products in the time of war, we have a serious problem. If we cannot produce the amount, if we were to have a call for 500 planes immediately, if we were to have a call for a certain amount of ships, so would the enemy send us our raw material that we need, manufactured, ready to go, for us to produce wartime weapons? We have to make sure at all times that we keep our manufacturing arm available for wartime weapons or anything that we need for our national security. And I understand, I know a lot of people are arguing with me over that. Aluminum and steel, they dump it here. The Chinese dump it. Okay? Trump will watch what happens. Trump will fix TPP, we didn't get in there, and NAFTA. Don't worry we didn't try it. That's because George H. Bush. Now let's look at a couple tweets this morning. Let's look at Trump's tweet number 1 this morning. Pull up the one, I call it the morning tweet, okay? We will look at last night in a minute. Can we make those larger? I don't know. I'm not over there. Or stretch them out or whatever. Is that the way I sent them to you? They have to go up. Okay, just maybe so somebody can read them. Mine is not coming up. Give me just a second. It will here in just a second. Okay. This should be the one that says number 1. We have a large trade deficit, okay, with Mexico and Canada. NAFTA, which is under renegotiation right now, has been a bad deal for the USA. Massive relocation of companies and jobs, aka Levi's. Tariffs on steel and aluminum will only come off if new and fair NAFTA agreement is signed. Also, Canada, okay, also Canada must, let's go with number 2. You got number 2 this morning, the one that says tweets this morning. Canada must treat our farmers much better. Up in Wisconsin, the milk, the cheese, the dairy farmers must treat our farmers much better. Highly restrictive Mexico must do much more on stopping drugs from pouring into the U.S. They have not done what needs to be done. Millions of people addicted and dying. So, you know what? NAFTA, steel, I'll get your attention. Because the dairy farmers up north, okay, you treat our farmers the way you treat our farmers. Look what it costs to send the milk into Canada, right? You want to talk about steel? In Mexico, look what you're doing with your drug trafficking into our country on our southern border. Okay, when we get things squared away, we'll look at steel. Until then, I mean, folks, let's go with tweet number 1. This was yesterday, not this morning. Trump tweet 1. Tell me when you got that up. I can't see across the room. Is that Trump tweet 1? Okay. We are on the losing side of almost all trade deals. This was Donald Trump yesterday. At 7:10, we are on the losing side of almost all trade deals. Our friends and enemies have taken advantage of the U.S. for many years. Our steel and aluminum industries are dead. Sorry, it's time to change. Make America great again. Let's go to tweet number 2. The United States has an $8 billion yearly trade deficit because of our stupid, very stupid trade deals and policies. Our jobs and wealth are being given to other countries that have taken advantage of us for years. They laugh at what fools our leaders have been. No more. That's true. They laugh at us. They laugh at our leaders. They laugh at Morning Joe. They laugh at Minka. They laugh at all of these people that go around kissing their EU booty, okay? Trying to keep it clean here. They laugh at us. Let's go with Trump tweet 3. If the EU wants to further increase their already massive tariffs, so they won't tell you that anywhere else. They won't tell you how massive the tariffs are in the EU and barriers on U.S. companies doing business there. We will simply apply a tax on their cars, which freely pour into the U.S. They make it impossible for our cars and more to sell there. Big trade imbalance. So don't get all nervous that you might not get your BMW in the EU. Don't get all nervous that you might not get your Mercedes in the EU here, okay? Don't get all nervous, all you little EU foreign cars you're out there driving around in that come from the EU. Find your American-made cars over there. Yeah, check it out, the imbalance. You know what? The President of the United States is keeping his campaign promises. That's all this boils down to. He's keeping his campaign promises, the President of the United States. And I'm sorry, no matter what you think. Well, the stock market went down a little bit. Yeah, the stock market went down a little bit. Okay. Billionaires may have lost a couple bucks in the market last week. Yeah, okay, we're sorry about that. Okay, we're so concerned. Harley Davidson closing. The EU, they've come out and they said Levi's, particularly said Levi's, Bourbon, and Harley Davidson motorcycles. But what the liberal media forgot and left out is Harley Davidson's closing Kansas City plant as motorcycle sales fall. Okay? Harley Davidson's sales fell sharply in 2017, and the company will move ahead with a plan to consolidate manufacturing, including the closure of its Kansas City, Missouri plant. They're the world's largest maker of heavyweight motorcycles. And their sales have been going downhill for 4 years. All right? What they will lead you to believe is that Trump, for 4 years the sales have been going down of these motorcycles, Harley Davidson. They will lead you to believe that Trump and his steel tariffs is what's causing Harley Davidson a struggle. I don't think so. I don't know that I'm going to be able to agree with that one. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let me look at a couple of my notes before I get ready to go to the next break. I'm just saying like this, don't worry about the only thing they had on the morning shows yesterday was White House and chaos. Yes, they've gone back to that, okay? And, Jared Kushner has a reduced security clearance. The darkest days in the Trump White House. It's hit rock bottom. Trump forever. MSNBC took. So, in China, we know. I mean, Trump will say anything. You got to give it to the guy, okay? Trump will say anything. And in China, they voted, which is not really a vote, to go ahead and make the president of China, Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, okay, permanent. He's permanent. He's there for good, okay? And Trump said, hey, maybe I should stick around forever. MSNBC took 15 minutes this morning to talk about Trump wanting to be a dictator. I mean, it does not matter what this guy says, okay? It spun their liberal heads off. Trump forever. DACA, Today it's it. DACA, the deal is up. Today is the day. March 5th, DACA. President is angry. He has come unglued, sources say in the White House, in the West Wing. He has come unglued. And he is upset. Hope Hicks is leaving. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner's reduced security clearance. So he decides to just start a trade war, harming the relationship with our allies. I call it the day our allies are no longer able to take advantage of you and I, the American people. It's America first. It's the workers first. It's Americans first and foremost, okay? James Comey is going on a book tour. His first interview will be with George Stephanopoulos. Yes, former disgraced FBI Director James Comey will be doing a book tour. Yes, you heard that correctly. And his first interview will be with George Stephanopoulos, formerly of the Clinton White House. Whew. And you do not. You do not. Peter Navarro, right? Is that the guy that was on Fox? Let's see. Increase the car, $175. Let's see. Globalists are the only ones. Josh Bolton is the globalist who's upset. The World Trade Organization is the only ones who are upset. NBC Meet the Press, Chuck Todd, retaliation against blue jeans, bourbon, and Harley Davidsons. Interesting. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Amanda, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we're going to come back, and then we're at 9:30. I'm going to bring you into the conversation, okay? So I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a break, get some things ready. You're going to meet Amanda at 9:30, so stick around.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville. Franklin and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hut.
I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Folks, we are only 4 minutes away from the premiere. Of Meeting Amanda. Now, first of all, before we get into that, today is qualifying day in Georgia. Today is the day that all the rumors, this week, all the rumors of who may run for sheriff, who may run for commissioner, who's running for chairman, who will be unopposed, who wants to be on the school board, who's running for state legislative office, how many Democrats will come out and vote. It's today, this week only, in Georgia. Brought to you by, yes, we have people stationed. I have them stationed, sitting outside the door. We will be checking twice a day in all of the counties to see who qualifies in the county. Today it's this week. Now, before I go any further, I got out today my trusty handbook for Georgia County Commissioners. Now, I can't tell you where I got this because it's actually against the law for me to have this. I mean, it breaks all the rules, regulations. If the state found out, they would confiscate my 5th edition of the Handbook of Georgia County Commissioners if they ever found out where I got this. Yeah. It's the Carl Vinson Institute of Government. And I have it right here. State responsibilities, emergency management, training requirements, county emergency management agencies, assistance from the state and federal governments. Oh, that's quite a chapter. So anyhow, I have that. Now, another thing, Amanda, I come in, I'm not here on Friday. I'm in Blue Ridge, so I do a lot of business up there. We do the show at Circuit World of Blue Ridge, so I don't come in. And this morning, I found my Superman glasses up front. Don't ever let that happen again. I come in and right on the front table, anybody could have walked in and just picked up my Superman glasses and walked off with them. Please don't no excuses. No excuses.
No. We literally took those out of there and you put them back in.
No, I know. I put them back here because they were out front. Anybody could have walked off. I mean, do you see this Superman glasses? Oh my gosh.
The point is to keep them out of the film room.
And then I came across, because I think what I'm going to do is go out today and look directly into the sun. So I came across my look directly into the sunglasses, my American flag look directly into the sunglasses. You know what? I brought up, Amanda, and wait for it. I brought up the economic development money, okay? I call it the election slush fund money. Now, we have an enormous amount in Georgia of additional, like $109 million that we have in revenue, increased tax revenue that has come in to the state. But they've put millions into a slush fund I call campaign cash when you need a little in your region. But first of all, it's 9:30, okay? This is a first. This is a test. No pressure. None whatsoever. But it's time to meet the one and only. I have no music. I thought we were going to write music and everything for this intro. But it's time for, you waited, folks, Amanda.
Hey,
oh, there you, hey, hi, how are you? I like that.
Yeah. But you can thank Sam.
Way to go. Okay, I like that. So that's me on one side and you on the other. BKP, and you even put a little bar down there. Yeah, you put a little bar down there that says BKP, Amanda on the other side. So if you get all comfortable, you just may jump in and all of a sudden people are going to see you.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it, but I'm not for sure. It's going to take me just a little bit.
Oh, you don't like sharing? Sharing is caring.
Amanda, welcome. Welcome, Amanda. She's in the control booth. She's she's on the 18th floor. I work on the 12th floor. She's on the 18th floor. Okay.
Yeah, this is my production office. So
I was like, Amanda, here's what I predict. Okay, I predict this campaign slush fund, as I call it, that I want to guess how many new pickleball courts there will be in Georgia. New ones. Pickleball. Did I catch you off guard with that one?
No, but I didn't get the chance to look up pickleball. Explain to us what the sport of pickleball is.
Oh, pickleball. Besides the 6th grade boy reference to it, a paddle sport created for all ages and skill level. The rules are simple and the game is easy for beginners to learn, but can develop into a quick, fast-paced, competitive games for experienced players. Played both indoors and outdoors on a badminton-sized court and slightly modified tennis net. Played with a paddle and a plastic ball with holes. Pickleball, folks, is growing. Senior citizens are actually retiring in areas that have a pickleball court. Amanda, what subjects are, or do you want to go into Oscars? What do you want to go to? What do you, this is your split screen. This is you. This is your intro.
I know you don't watch the Oscars, but, I'm scrolling through my Facebook and, looking for stuff for you, and I see Jimmy Kimmel. The headline, Jimmy Kimmel, : I wish I was a woman.
Oh, is that the song? I feel like a woman.
Did that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. It seems like something Jimmy Kimmel would say.
So you say you wish it was. So last night, let me tell you this, okay? Last night, I'm on the phone with a campaign. Now, not Casey Cagle. That's why I wanted to say it later. So, Amanda, last night I'm on the phone with a campaign communication director for a candidate for governor of Georgia. I'm not going to tell you who it is, okay? So, Sunday night, they want to get on the show. They want to do an interview, okay? So, they sent me a message, and I said, hey, it's Sunday night. Can I call tonight? So I called, right?
Yeah.
And I said to this individual, I'm going to say lady. I have to put it out there. I said to this lady, I said, hi, how are you? My name is BKP. That's what my name is, actually. And
yeah.
So my name is BKP, and I want to talk to you about your candidate coming in for an interview. You sent us an email, get your candidate on the show. How are you? What are you doing this evening? And this individual, Republican, this individual says, I'm watching the Oscars. And I said very serious. Now, this person has not met me, okay? So I said very serious. I said, please don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, ow.
Yeah, I said, you agree? I said, please don't tell anybody that. You're a Republican. Don't tell anybody that you're watching the Oscars. Don't do it. And I caught this person off guard. They were like, are you serious? And I said, yes, I'm very serious. Don't tell Do not do your candidate any favors and tell anyone you watch the Oscars.
No, you don't do that.
What say you? I have a note here from a viewer that says pickleball is for old men on cruise ships. So that's what one viewer has sent in. What do you have, Amanda, or anything else on there for your debut?
I have a little bit more about the Oscars just from reading a Daily Wire article, but I will say, as far as pickleball goes, I love bingo.
You love bingo?
I was one of those nerdy high schoolers that would go after school on the weekends and play bingo with all the elderly community.
Okay, you remember what I just told you that I told the lady about the Oscars? That's where we're at on the bingo, okay? Don't tell anybody that. Hold that one, okay?
Yeah.
Save that. Don't tell anybody you drove your grandmother to bingo and then played 4 cards.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have admitted that live. But Jimmy Kimmel in this article, he goes on to say, he ended his speech with, I wish I was a woman. But he goes on to say that why can't we be more like Oscar, the statue, off of the Oscars, of the Oscar Awards. So, because he's referring to that Oscar doesn't have a gender. Well, do people not write or fact check, things before they say things, on the World Wide Web and streaming? Because I read a little bit about the history behind Oscar. And Betty Davis actually named Oscar, but Oscar is based off of Emilio Fernandez. And I'm putting Emilio up for a second. Is this man, to you, in any way feminine?
No.
Okay, this is Emilio Fernandez, and he was he was actually a Mexican actor back in 1945. And that is who Oscar is based off of.
Okay, I left the conversation because, first of all, we got the split screen. I'm a little iffy in the studio to be discussing gender with you. So I want to bring myself away for gender conversations. I do want to say this. I can see this BKP Amanda. Maybe a little tweaking, I think, color-wise with this split screen. I like it. And folks, let's hear it for Amanda and her debut in her discussion of the Oscars. I did not watch the Oscars. I'm wondering who cares about the Oscars. They're a bunch of hypocrites.
Yes.
They made millions and millions of dollars, and accepted those Oscars the entire time that Harvey Weinstein and the rest of them. You cannot tell me sitting there that they did not make millions and millions knowing about Kevin Spacey, and the list goes on. Okay, so they have zero credibility, and I can't wait to see for the diminished, lowest rated Oscars probably ever. That's my thought. So was there a show or an actual event that took place? Did somebody actually get an award I may be interested in, or something happened that I could have an ounce of interest in? Or
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch any of it? Or
No.
Okay. I didn't myself. All right, well, that's it. You got anything else before we go off the split screen?
I don't.
Okay, you feel much better now?
I do. Broke the ice.
Broke the ice, okay.
Yeah.
No more excuses, you understand?
All right.
Okay, Amanda from the control room. Thank you very much, Amanda, for coming in this morning. And that's Amanda from the control room. And we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, I'm going to wrap up the show. But thank you for coming in. We just wanted to show you. Oh, wait, don't go to break yet, Amanda. I know you already went off the split screen, but we are working every single day to develop things here. To show you the direction we're going in, and we have so many great opportunities here. So I'm happy with the split screen, and I know Sam, and I want to give Michael a shout out, our technical director that comes in and calibrates and sets everything up. Our technical director here, Michael, for setting everything up and making it happen. Sam for making it happen, adjusting all the cameras, and Amanda for producing it. I'm your host, BKP. We'll come back and wrap up we'll do a little pickleball talking when we get back. Take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville. Franklin and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
Folks, I got a message. Amanda, I got a message. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Amanda, that was great. Amanda will be coming on every morning at 9:30 and until she gets comfortable enough. And then there's no telling, 8:15, 8:25, 9:10, whenever she may just jump in and want me to hear her 2 cents. In fact, I'm very nervous. I'm nervous about the fact of how comfortable you may become with this. I could be out of a job. Anyhow, Oscar was almost out of a job. He's down 18% in the overnights of last year, which were down 17% the year before. That's the text message I got. Oscar was down 18% in the overnights from last year. 17% year before that. I guess nobody stayed up to see what Oscar's genitalia looked like, or the genitalia discussion with Oscar. Is that you again? Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? I mean, oh, go. A woman can't have a sword? I mean, come on. Yeah, you know, let's move on. I mean, you're stuck on Oscar. Oscar, she has an Oscar problem, okay? I can't help it. Anyhow, President Donald Trump has put out a couple new tweets before we close the show. To protect our country, we must protect American steel, America first, okay? Now, they are laughing at the President of the United States. When I say they, the World Trade Organization, the people that created NAFTA. Don't forget, George H. Bush, okay? George H. Bush, he had NAFTA sitting on the desk waiting for William Jefferson Clinton to sign it. Okay? Period. Just sign right here, Mr. President. Just sign right here. Where did you get this? Is this something George H. left here? Why do I have to sign it? Is there a trick? This ain't going to get me in no trouble, is it? That's what Bill said. That's every time Bill said, this ain't going to get me in no trouble, is it? Is Hillary going to find out? I don't know. Anyhow, so it's sitting on William Jefferson Clinton's desk. He signs NAFTA, and next thing you know, you have no Levi's in Blue Ridge. List goes on, all right? The American people in rural America know what happened. Actually, there are men and women in this country that actually remember a steel factory, a steel mill, okay? And you probably don't want to return to it because you don't want your children working there. You want better for your children. That's what you want. That's what we have wanted in every generation. We want better for our children. We don't want our children to have to work the way we did. Well, damn it, they're not working the way we did. And we did get better for our children. The only thing that happened is we kindly don't have a country. So we might have to back up just 2 steps. Your boy may need to work in the steel mill. It won't hurt him. It won't hurt him. Okay? So, to protect our country, we must protect American steel, American first. Why did the Obama administration start an investigation, this is a Trump tweet, into the Trump campaign with zero proof of wrongdoing, long before the election in November? Wanted to discredit so Crooked H would win. Unprecedented. Bigger than Watergate, plus Obama did nothing about Russian meddling. Did nothing. And you know what? He tweeted that out. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen. And Mueller subpoenas witnesses for documents tied to Trump. Campaign associates. Special counsel Robert Mueller has requested various documents tied to President Trump and the number of his associates, according to multiple reports. Mueller wants communications between the witnesses and Hope Hicks, Stephen Bannon, Roger Stone, Carter Page, Michael Cohen, Keith Schiller, Rick Gates, Corey Lewandowski, and Paul Manafort. He wants all their communication. Mueller last month unsealed indictments against 13 Russian nationals. Putin was asked, are you going to extradite those Russians so we can charge them with crimes against Hillary? Crimes against humanity, crimes against Hillary. Putin just laughed. Yeah, I'm sending them next week. They're on the next plane. Did you see him laugh? He was in the Megyn Kelly interview, and Megyn said, "It's an international incident. You've caused an international incident. Are you going to send those 13 Russians to be prosecuted? We must know." And he laughs and, yeah. They're on the next plane. Yeah, right. They're on their way. I think I can't speak Russian, but I think right after that he says something like dumbass. Sure. Yeah, like Red Foreman. Yeah, okay. So the 13 nationals for alleged roles in plots to disrupt and influence the 2016 election, in addition to filing a superseding indictment against Manafort, Trump's former campaign. So my opinion is they want everything. They're getting everything ready. Now, I'm not for sure. I'm just going to throw this out here. I don't think they can run in 2018 on the Russian investigation. I really don't. I just want to put it out there. I don't think they can run on it. But I do think that they can have everything ready in case Nancy gets the golden gavel to impeach Trump. I do think that. I do think the report can come out yay or nay. And I think the report comes out just in time if Nancy gets elected to impeach Trump. I really do. Folks, election today in Pennsylvania. Okay. Today in Pennsylvania, let me see where I have that. Let's see. No. Today, I think in tomorrow, Tuesday, Texas, tomorrow, several political races out there, elections going on in Texas tomorrow we're going to be looking at. Next week, Pennsylvania special election is next week, okay? We're going to be looking at that. And I want to recommend an article. It's a little... It's got a couple days on it. It's March 1st. This article, I know it's the 5th, but this article came out from David Hines. I want to recommend you read it, from the Federalist on March 1st. Why did it take 2 weeks to discover Parkland students astroturfing? Okay. The Miami Herald credited their success to the school's stellar debate program. The Wall Street Journal said it's because they were born online and organizing was instinctive. On February 28th, BuzzFeed came out with the actual story. Deborah Wasserman Schultz aiding in the lobbying in Tallahassee. A teachers union organizing the buses that got the kids there. Michael Bloomberg's group, okay, and the Women's March working on the upcoming March for Our Lives. So Michael Bloomberg and the Women's March, they're working on the getting everything organized. MoveOn.org doing social media promotion and potentially March logistics. Oh, yeah, they got everybody involved. And training for student activists provided by federally funded Planned Parenthood. That came out March 1st. You think these kids were not organized and ready? The president of the American Federation of Teachers told BuzzFeed they're also behind the national school walkout, which journalists had previously assured the public was the sole work of the teenagers, okay? The media wants you to believe the teenagers have been organizing this, and they're making it happen. So just a quick recap. I'd like for you to go read this. It is the Federalist website, and it's called Why Did It Take 2 Weeks to Discover Parkland Students Astroturfing by David Hines. And again, just to recap, on February 28th, BuzzFeed came out with the actual story. Wasserman Schultz aiding and lobbying in Tallahassee. A teachers union organizing the buses to get the kids there. Michael Bloomberg, former liberal lefty, is he a pinko commie? Is that what what's his name would say? Former mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg groups and Women's March, working on the upcoming March for Life, okay? MoveOn.org, which is George Soros doing social media promotion and potentially March logistics, and training for student activists provided by federally funded Planned Parenthood. We better get ready, folks. You are in the battle, and we just don't talk about it enough. Did you hear? I mean, did you know all those things, Amanda? I mean, I know we've been talking about them and assuming them and keeping up with them, but did you know all that was going on? Yep, right there. All right, we let you know what pickleball was today. We've gone through the tweet deck. DACA's deadline is today. Okay. The media will be leading. They're looking for the left-wing, radical left-wing media is probably out there looking for somebody to get rounded up today. They will probably run a story. It'll probably make all the nightly news. They'll find one person that is being rounded up today. There's another story we didn't work on. Fascism in action. Here is the tech giant Purge list of prominent conservative websites. There's a lot of talk right now that YouTube, which is Google, and Facebook, Twitter are looking at blocking conservative websites. Now, I'm not for sure 100% on that, okay? So, but there's a lot of talk on that. We're going to keep up with that. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. Now, tomorrow is Tuesday. Made it through today. We're going to look at the legislative session again tomorrow. We're going to look at the legislative session again tomorrow for Georgia. And Casey Cagle, as you know, we have that. I hope the audio turned out okay in the interview. We'll put that up on our website. I don't have anything else. It's almost 10 o'clock. I don't want to just... Well, let's not forget, we have, we're putting a button. I should make this announcement before we close. We're putting a button on the top of all of the websites that say Election 2018. Okay? Election 2018, all right, on the button for all of the websites. So no matter what website you go to, we're starting an article that is for qualifying. So if you want to know on a daily basis who is qualified to run for commission and what post, commissioner and what post, school board and what post, sheriff, taxes, tax commissioner, it doesn't matter. In your district, in your county, we are going to have that updated on a daily basis. Everything that happens in your county, we are going to push to make sure all you got to do is click, go to Gilmer and click, Election 2018, and if it happened in Gilmer, it's going to be right there. So we will have that ready for you today. That button will be fixed there on all the websites, and today is the day that the week that all the rumors are dispelled of who is running for office. I'm your host, VKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. If you have news, a tip, anywhere, it's the election season. If you have any tips you'd like to send us, those go to 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700. You can also find us, email me at chief@FetcherNews.com. Follow us on Facebook, FYNTV, also Fetcher News on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News, at FYNTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fetcher News FYNTV YouTube channel, and you will get a notification anytime we have a live broadcast. I was going to say something else. Oh, on Friday, we do our segment Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. If you ever want to ask a question, we had a live question come in during the show, which was great, and Dr. Whaley was able to take the question and answer it. But if you ever want to send a live a question in for Dr. Whaley for our Friday segment, you can send that to info, I-N-F-O, info@fetchernews.com. Send that to info@fetchernews.com, and we'll get that to Dr. Whaley for our Friday broadcast. I'm your host. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Take us out of here.